I'm Kelly Thompson, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatic.
Wendell Vaughn, the first Earthman ever appointed the protector of the universe, bonded to the energy transformer.
My bad. Okay, so I mean, yeah, everything could be in the 60s, or it's just they watch a lot of Me TV. You know, that's the flip side to it, is that they just watch a lot of old TV shows because people like old TV shows.
Like I said, I think they throw in old stuff. Some Zone, episode 14. I am Phil. Will cannot join us tonight. There's a little bit of a family emergency. He's messaging me right now. Looks like everything's going to be okay, but he's not going to be able to join us. But Matt is here.
I am here. Good to be here, Phil.
Working out,
doing all right. Yeah.
Working, doing some lifting at the library. Matt was.
Yeah. I special ordered the Marvel 75 Years of Cover Art box. It's the size of a pizza. It weighs the size of a couple of phone books.
Wow.
And which I don't know if they still make anymore, but it's pretty heavy. So the only man that could get it out of the teen section.
Every once in a while, I think we get a phone book, but it's like really, it's like smaller and like a lot thinner.
Yeah. They're mostly to sell advertisement. But yeah, it's good to be here. Deep into Acts of Vengeance.
Oh yeah, the one we've been waiting for. Quasar number 5. First, the Absorbing Man.
Yes.
Cover kind of gives away the end of the story, though. Well, some of it.
Peppered with quantum bands.
Oh, the little jewels, yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of cosmic, like, measles or something.
I like the sound of that. Cosmic measles.
But yeah, so this one picks up like pretty much where, just like the last one picked up after Quasar 4, this one picks up right after Avengers 311 and our last episode.
Yes.
Quasar and Stingray cleaning up, trying to get to salvage what they can from the mansion that's now completely submerged.
Yeah, this is an actual salvage. It's a sea mission. They got to go underneath the waves to do it. And yeah, good thing Stingray showed up. Where was he last time? We were looking for any Avengers related to help besides just the office personnel.
I know. We need like an Acts of Vengeance story. Who was Stingray fighting?
I know. Well, I was saying before we got on the air, I was just kind of curious. So I went to the local comic shop. Shout out to Chris's Comics in Seabrook, New Hampshire. And I just went real deep into just picking up random Acts of Vengeance. I have not the tip of the iceberg in terms of what I've actually been able to read so far, but I got some good ones, including and this is a nice tie-in to what the last episode where episode 311 or issue 311 of the Avengers, when it was just Quasar, a little deceitful imagery on the cover. I have Punisher 29 with a Quasar appearance on the cover. And he is not in the episode. There's a very brief interaction with the Avengers, but keep saying episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's my stories. Yeah, the issue.
I don't know. I guess on a lot of covers they must have put the Avengers even if they didn't show up, just so you know it's kind of an Avengers story. I guess it was a popularity thing because like Spider-Man had a whole bunch of Spider-Man had like 3 books at the time. So you got like 3 Acts of Vengeance a month for like, what was it, like 3 months or something? Yeah, I don't remember seeing any Avengers on any cover. So
yeah, the one Web of Spider-Man issue I got, it's the cover just says "Roasted by Dragon Man."
Yes.
So there's one. I've never seen Spider-Man fight. I don't know if I've ever seen Dragon Man before.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Fantastic Four villain.
Yeah, it's just a gargoyle. And Spidey says, "This stinks." Okay, that's good. It could be a dragon breath joke. Breathing, this stinks. Also, he's being burned. That can't feel very good either. But yeah, so I got a lot of Acts of Vengeance. I thought about compiling a whole Acts of Vengeance report. Meanwhile, but maybe for next week when we have more. I have more time.
Cool.
To try to think of some side note action.
So Quasar and Stingray are helping clean up, and Quasar's still feeling down about letting the island sink, and Stingray's like, "I know what you mean. I used to be the caretaker of Hydra Base. I never thought I'd see it this way." And Quasar's like, well, wait, this was my pity party, so bye. I gotta be at work in a couple hours.
Yeah, but Stingray and Quasar relate in a way because Quasar, before he hooked up with the Avengers, he was hard on himself for letting down Shields when he was in charge of security in Pegasus days.
Quasar's like, I got stuff to do between it being extraterrestrial investigator for Earth and head of my own fledgling security consultant agency. So he says, I'm going to zip up to Dad's house in Connecticut and get some sleep.
Yeah, catch some Z's.
But then meanwhile, well, not meanwhile, but later that morning, 25 miles outside of Las Vegas.
What is the deal with absorbing thing?
Why is he screaming about the Hulk?
Really let it go. He got beat up by the Hulk real bad, and
Yes.
he's cursing at the heavens.
It says in Hulk 348, a mysterious figure in all white trench coat, white fedora, white pants. This must take place before Labor Day.
That's when all the good villain matchmaking happens, before Labor Day.
And the mysterious figure's like, hey, here's an idea. Why don't you go after superheroes who you never fought before? And he's like, let me see your ball. And he touches, there's a big flash as he touches Absorbing Man's wrecking ball. And he's like, what did you do? He's like, if you got to go anywhere, just throw it. So the mysterious figure, who isn't revealed, I don't think, in any of these Quasar issues, but it's Loki.
Loki, the new host of Pimp My Wrecking Ball.
Ah! My weaponry. Absorbing Man does what Loki suggests and throws the ball. And he's like, hey, there must be more to that twerp than I knew, because I'm flying just like Thor.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I think Loki gave him his powers in the first place, so maybe he should have figured out it was Loki. But Absorbing Man, not the biggest thinker. Then a few minutes before noon, back in New York City in an alleyway behind Ford Freedom's Plaza, I guess.
Yes, I love this sequence. I mean, really, this whole issue was one of the first ones that I picked up when I first kind of rediscovered Quasar, and it's one of my all-time favorites because it's funny that you played Seinfeld sitcom music, because there's a lot of sitcom-y parts about this, and the fact that he goes into this he goes into the dingy alleyway, maybe outside the diner that Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer hang out in, and right next to a dumpster is a bulkhead that he keeps his wardrobe in.
Yeah, it looks like he has a fingerprint lock on it, and must be some shield surplus or something.
Yeah, it does kind of stick out in terms of being right next to the New York Department of Sanitation.
Oh, but he changes into a suit, thinking, I got to drum out more I got to drum up some business. And he's like, I got to take all the suits in my alley closet to the dry cleaners. This is my last clean one. He's like, man, how are these other guys with secret identities managed? They can't all be rich. Serenity now. There's our theme. There's our theme for the episode.
It's the episode about nothing. But he does, the panel before that, he does have a very kind of deprecating line that I thought was funny. If I don't get any inquiries, I'll have to do a second mailing. What's next? The Misfortune 500 companies? Come on. Oh, Wendell.
You and your puns. So he goes up to the 12th floor, his office, and Kayla, of course, has been there for how many hours already? Because it's like noon.
Yeah, that list of office supplies that he told her to make last time, it's got to be so long by now.
I know, she's probably like, man, this is a great job. My boss never shows up. But she says, we got our first job. IDIC, International Data Integration and Control on 5th and 51st. He says, please get them on the line. And she's like, oh, looks like a paying client will spell the end to your mornings at the racket club. He doesn't even need an excuse. She created an excuse for him.
It's a good secretary.
So he sets up an appointment for 3:00. He's like, all right. He's feeling all up. Finally got a paying client. So he goes, let me check in with Eon. Eon's a little busy. Who's Eon talking to?
Dear old dad looking all cosmic.
Yeah, that's right. Gilbert. So I'm thinking he's not there. It's just Eon like telepathically conversing with him or something.
Yeah, that's what I was a little bit wondering too. Like Eon is able to generate the likeness of his father, but Quasar can also see it. That's kind of one thing I want to ask Will about. Yeah. And, Quasar has always had this cold, standoffish relationship with his father, but he's like, oh, in light of your unique relationship with this cosmic entity, I've decided to take up xenopaology, the study of extraterrestrial cultures. Your mentor is a fountainhead of information. Yeah, he's just a head. A moldy fountain.
And Wendell tells Eon, if all goes well, I'll get back to checking out aliens tonight. The Avengers emergency seems to be over. And then he says, I think my company landed its first job. And of course, Dad's like, that's nice, son.
Yeah, barely paying attention, still writing down his xenopaology weaponology notebook.
Yes, which is see-through, just like him. But then Quasar said he's stepping out for a bite to eat. Can I get you anything? And we've learned Eon does not need to eat. He lives off the background radiation of the Big Bang.
Of course he does. No food stuff for him.
That's right. It's all Big Bang for him.
Bazinga.
It's a good theory.
And he's like, weird, Dad getting so chummy with Eon like this. I guess I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah.
And then Absorbing Man's made good time from outside Vegas to southern New Jersey. Once again, I sense a theme that you brought up in the Avengers issue. Absorbing Man's going to this factory where I guess they make adamantium, which I thought was a lot more rare than that. But he goes to this adamantium plant. Once again, just like the Avengers fuel storage tanks, all it's guarding it is a chain link fence.
Probably not even made of adamantium.
Probably not. But the guards try shooting at him, but he turns to lead because that's what the bullets are. He picks up a guard and asks him, where can he get the hunk of that crud? I mean, for a guy, for a dummy like the Absorbing Man, it's a pretty smart play, and he wants to carry a piece of adamantium in his pocket at all times so he can transform into it.
And I don't know much about the origin of the Absorbing Man, but he seems like a New Jersey guy. I don't know. Or Vegas, I guess.
I'm trying to remember where he's from, but I'm pretty sure I remember.
Because he's a Thor villain, so it's tough to really...
I believe he was just like he was like a convict or something, and Loki gave him the Absorbing Man powers, so he could it was like basically the original act of vengeance, because he was like, here, go kill my brother.
Gotcha.
Or was that the Wrecking Crew? Maybe both. So we go from Jersey back to New York. Wendell has his meeting at IDIC. Guy should give him the tour, thinks he's introducing him to Kenjiro Tanaka. Remember that name, but it turns out they were in S.H.I.E.L.D. together.
New York City, you meet the people. Big city, you meet someone you used to be in school with.
And basically Wendell's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And he says, S.H.I.E.L.D. sent me here on a field assignment, but when they folded, I just stayed here and started working my way up the corporate ladder. And this is the weird part. Wendell's like, why did S.H.I.E.L.D. have you here? Was something sinister going on? He's like, no, S.H.I.E.L.D. has agents in every major corporation. Didn't you know?
Yeah.
So S.H.I.E.L.D. basically, I mean, can you imagine that story came out that the CIA had someone in every major corporation?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's when Wendell gets a tingle in the quantum bands. So he asks Ken, which way is the bathroom? Something I had for lunch is disagreeing with me. That background radiation is disagreeing with me.
Yes, I get some foodstuffs really pouring the hole through me.
But it's a call from Cap. I was gonna say, I wonder how I don't know, the Avengers call his quantum bands. What's the number? But
maybe he has call forwarding from his ID card.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's like an Apple Watch, maybe. Or
Steve Jobs might have been reading this, getting some ideas.
Oh, maybe.
So Captain America just had gotten back to Hydra Base from being away.
Yeah, he's like, we got a report to the Absorbing Man at the adamantium manufacturing plant. He's like, I'm up to my eyeballs here. Can you handle it? And Quasar says, yes, I'll try. Great. This would have to happen now. Then he tells
I just told Dad I was done with the Avengers.
He tells Ken, he's like, come back tomorrow. I have another appointment. And it's like, sure. But once again, another alley, this time changing out of his suit. Could I have been any more suspicious? Ken probably thinks I'm a secret agent still. But then 10 minutes later, Quasar swoops down to the adamantium plant that we've already seen. The guards he's like, hi, I'm one of the Avengers. And the guard's like, oh yeah, you got some ID? Good thing this is the era where they carry the identity cards. He's like, yeah, here, see? Signed by George Bush himself. Now, where did the Absorbing Man go?
Yeah, they just got attacked. This guy's there peacefully saying hello. You don't think if he wanted to attack them, pretty sure he probably would have to jump on them.
So they're like, you're 15 minutes too late. He flew off that way. And he's like, Quasar takes off in that direction, says thanks. He's like, he flew? He's like, I don't remember the Absorbing Man being able to fly. What did he absorb? An airplane? Quasar tunes his bracelets to the radar and looks for a man-sized object. He finds something 30 miles south, so he pours on some speed. He sees the Absorbing Man flying through the sky. He says, you, Carl Creel, alias Crusher, also known as the Absorbing Man. The name's Quasar, and hey! And as Absorbing Man's dropping to the ground.
Yeah.
So basically, it's raining men.
Hallelujah, yes.
He says he must control that steel ball mentally. You're not getting away that easily for me, sir. Of course, we get the spiel. Junior, I've taken on Thor, the Hulk, the whole blinking Avengers. Such language. He's like, you're biting off more than you can chew. And he says, here comes another pun. Yes, you may have beaten a lot of heavyweights before, sir. Now prepare to get beaten by, as he hits him with that big quantum anvil. Prepare to be beaten by a lightweight.
Yes, because it's a weight made of light.
I'm gonna have to keep track every episode of all these quantum.
This episode is filled with it. Maybe this is why it really spoke to me so much.
Maybe
When I
a lot of quantum puns.
Yeah, it's like this guy. He's my guy.
But he's like, cute, Sonny, real cute. I can change myself to energy. You didn't think of that. He's like, no, I did. Change any kind of energy you want. I control all kinds of energy. Absorbing Man's like, we'll see about that. He's like, wait, he does have the goods on me. But he's like, wait, my secret plan. I got something else I can turn into.
Yeah, at first things were going well for Quasar for the first time in a while. There's been so many times where he's used his quantum bands on an adversary and they've been able to get around it or it doesn't affect them. It seems to be working pretty good, but hey, he got what in his pocket from the old New Jersey adamantium plant.
So, I mean, if he didn't have that adamantium, Quasar could have took this heavyweight down within like seconds.
Yeah, that'd be a real short issue.
But meanwhile, Creel turns to adamantium, starts throwing his ball at hurricane speed, which I guess adamantium traveling that fast can puncture Quasar's bubbles because out he goes. Because once again, the absorbing man can't keep it in his pants.
He does look cool as the adamantium absorbing man.
He looks like Colossus almost.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like Colossus, Silver Surfer crossed with Sandman. Maybe just because of the striped attire.
Speaking of poor Colossus, he got left at the altar this week.
Damn, you got to feel for a guy like that.
But meanwhile, Rogan Gambit got married in his place. Spoilers. Absorbing man breaks out, hits the ground, throws his wrecking ball at Quasar, who blocks it with a quantum wall. Wait, it's returning to his hand just like Thor's hammer. What's the source of his power? Magic? It's not in the electromagnetic spectrum. Is it like Doctor Strange's magic? Like, what do I do? If I bombard him again, he'll turn to energy. But if I contain him, he'll just break out. What's left? So he's
rattling through the list. He's problem solving at a high level.
Yeah, but he's dodging the ball and he says, what are you going to do? Pulverize me and then what? We're going to keep on fighting until someone like Thor or the Hulk find a way to stop you. Don't give me that crud. Real men don't need shrinks. Then basically Quasar goes all guidance counselor and says, what have you done with your life so far?
What are you looking for? Wealth, happiness.
So you notice, absorbing man mad. You got a terrific power there, but what do you do with it? Get in stupid fights. Krill's like, you're the one who picked this stupid fight, Junior.
True.
So he's trying to crack through Quasar's shield. Quasar drops the shield, absorbing man hits the tower behind them, and Quasar goes to hold it up and says, hopefully no one hears about what happened, this bozo outmaneuvered me. But that's when Absorbing Man grabs him with the chain, pulls him close, and absorbs the quantum band.
Boom. This is where we get the cover art from.
So he must feel something when he absorbs stuff, because he's like, yeah, that's what I thought they were like. As he growing,
get the taste in his mouth. Yeah, he starts to expand, quadruple in size, and
growing, and he's like, woohoo! He's like, there's some heavy duty doodads you got. As powerful as those are, imagine what a guy 50 foot made out of those jewels can do. Absorbing Man has stolen the family jewels.
Yeah.
And Quasar's like, hopefully he doesn't figure out how to channel energy through those. And he's like, fry, punk!
Boom. He sends it to him right through the fist. A huge gush of energy.
And I guess Quasar redirected most of it, but he said I wasn't prepared to redirect all of that.
Yeah.
And Absorbing Man's like, basically, you're a flea, you're not worth my time. I got real enemies I want to stop. And he takes off. And look, he's got the Quasar yellow sparkly trail. Yeah. He's really doped out these powers, man. It's not even pink or anything, it's yellow.
He didn't absorb the lack of ink from the last few issues.
But Quasar goes after him and shouts into his quantum megaphone, you must listen to me. Every single person who's used quantum bands without being entitled to it has exploded. The more power used, the harder it will be too. And ooh, you're scaring me, kid. Now buzz off. Absorbing Man's headed for New York, and Quasar's like, probably to take on the Avengers. And then he's like, I've got to stop him. There are 8 million innocent people below. He's like, here, Creel, you want power? Take it. More than you know what to do with.
Yeah, forces him to eat it all. It's like, when a parent catches a kid smoking cigarettes and makes him smoke the whole pack.
What? You coughing, you baby?
You're going to absorb this all.
Okay, so basically, yeah, he's like, he's got the potential energy of a star in him. If he explodes in the middle of Manhattan, he could level it, the whole city, maybe even the tri-state area. He's like, it's dicey, but I've got to risk overloading his body's energy storage capacity. Make him implode. And the Absorbing Man's like, hey, kid, cooling him, expanding too fast. Sorry, sir, it's you or untold a million.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wa-boom!
Wa-boom!
I'm sorry.
It's a cool panel. No, that's it. Wa-boom is the next page.
All that's left is the wrecking ball.
Yeah, which Quasar scoops out with a Mr. Fantastic size long arm and hand.
No, I was getting sorry because I was like, there was the big explosion.
Oh,
So Quasar's like, imploded just like the two guys that wore these wristbands before me. I feel like it's my fault. No, it's his fault. I warned him and he did what I had. I did what I had to do for the good of many. And then later, I don't know where they're at, but it's at one of the barges there on the beginning of the episode. But Quasar meets up with Captain America. Cap's like, that big flash of light to the southwest. He's like, the absorbing man. He got a hold of my power and had to force him to get rid of it rather explosively. I think I may have killed him, sir. And he says, I wouldn't be too sure of that. Crusher Creel is one tough customer. He survived a lot worse. We can make a full investigation as soon as time permits. The end.
I don't know how they're going to make a full investigation about a giant explosion of energy in the sky above.
I know.
The ocean.
He's like some stray molecules. Yeah, we'll investigate.
Yeah. Quasar, he's kind of shrugging his shoulders. Oh, great. More water stuff. We're going to hang out with Stingray again.
But yeah, I believe Absorbing Man shows up next. I'm pretty sure in Thor during the Eric Masterson stuff when Eric Masterson had the power of Thor. Which we'll kind of get to that era because there is an issue with Quasar in it, so we will get there.
Yeah, and there's some crossover too because that era Thor was the Infinity Gauntlet too, I think. But that's not for a while.
I was saving our feedback until the end because Soshin...
and that's the end of the comics, you put the letters page at the end.
Oh, yeah, there's no letters page.
There's no letters page in this one. It's just an advertisement for Snake Eye.
Yeah, that was a good story. But yeah, Soshin Smith wrote into us once again. I guess he listened to our last episode because before he gets to the issue, remember we said, well, Will's Eon, who are we?
Yeah.
He says, Matt, I'm not sure what character you would be in the Marvel universe, but the pun master comes to mind. Last week's puns were downright hysterical. Phil, I'll work on getting a name for you as well. Now, I was thinking about this, and it's ironic because of what you were saying before, but I don't know. Pun master doesn't work for me. How about the Punisher?
I like that.
Matt Kuna, the Punisher.
Frank Sandcastle.
All right, so then Soshin said, okay, for this week's reading, I had 3 very important takeaways. First, our boy Quasar seemed to get his swag, so to speak. He didn't come in all timid like usual and self-doubting. Second, and this kind of plays off the first one, but he wasn't intimidated that the Absorbing Man had gone up against the likes of the Hulk or Thor. Quasar didn't get frazzled or make any huge blunders due to not respecting his opponent's capability. Lastly, and this might be the most important, I'm glad he made the assertive decision to kill someone if it meant saving the public as a whole. Too many superheroes have this issue about not wanting to take a life and they purposely go out of their way to avoid it. This issue for me solidified Quasar's belief on this topic in that he would try and avoid killing, but wouldn't go out of his way and waste too much time if it meant saving someone. Phil, congratulations on getting the award for this podcast. Hey, that was a team effort. Everyone got the award for this podcast. Love it and can't wait for more. Too bad Will's not here. He says, Will, I think for Father's Day, I'll be asking my kids for a copy of your new graphic novel, Diary of Night. Keep up the great work, guys.
Yes.
And thank you, Soshin. We appreciate the feedback. Keep it coming, man. Every episode if you want.
Yeah, and check out Diary of Night. Go to willaldred.com.
Oh, yeah. We're me and my other co-host, Lilith, I think we're going to we have a show where we review comic books, so I think we're gonna get Will on there and review that.
Yeah, and speaking of feedback, even though it's related to the last episode we had, I told you I was gonna read ahead to some Avengers to see if there's any letters about the all Quasar issue.
Oh, yes.
And I did find one in Avengers 317, which guest stars the Amazing Spider-Man.
See, I called it 6 months. 6 months after the issue.
Yeah, and so most of the letters in this were people just guessing the identity of the mysterious man behind Acts of Vengeance, and pretty much, all Loki. But then there's one non-guess, Dear John Paul, Yom, etc. Avengers 311 was, in my opinion, the best Avengers story of all time. Not only did it focus on my favorite Avenger, Quasar, it also showed us why Captain America hired a full-fledged staff. They really held their own against those robots. It was bad that Avengers Island sunk, but I've always preferred Avengers Mansion on its original site anyway. Keep up the truly fantastic work. Antonio Hall, 410 East 18th Street, Caruthersville, Missouri.
This was 1989, so I'm pretty sure he's probably not there anymore, people.
Yeah. But let's send him a postcard anyway. Antonio Hall. It's a good one.
Yeah, Quasar getting some props.
That's Arsenio Hall. But yeah. He said it was the greatest Avenger story of all time. That's high praise. Antonio Hall. That may actually be Mark Grunwald's mom right under it.
I was going to say, is that Mark Grunwald under an alias? But
but yeah. That's cool.
Although it wasn't Grunwald who wrote that issue though.
No, I know. I figured
It was John Byrne.
Burn. Yeah, that's cool. I love reading old letters pages and I'm taking through back issues too.
Yeah, it's cool. Avengers 317. I believe we get there because Quasar shows up in the end of that. I believe, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I actually didn't read the issue because I have so much stuff.
I was gonna say eventually we will. It'll be a while, but we'll get there. So yeah. So do we have anything else?
We could list the next couple ones, but I'm gonna try to do a little Acts of Vengeance news report about what's been going on when I start to sort through these. But I did read the Captain America issue today that is him going back to Avengers Island or the lack thereof, Avengers Island, and being kind of thrown for a loop. He was hanging out with Diamondback in the Avengers jet, and then he gets there, and he basically tells Diamondback she has to leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, I kind of got some stuff. This is the end of the line. I'll be in touch. Cold-hearted. And then he's flanked by his security. They go over the issue 4, and then someone tries to get into Namor's head about joining up with Doctor Doom, Magneto, Mandarin, Red Skull, and he won't do it, so they implant something in the base of his skull, which makes him fight Captain America.
Yes, the controller's control disc, but Captain America, that's a Mark Grunwald Captain America era there. So
it is.
Yes.
I really enjoy it. But then there's the whole Mark Grunwald is also writing the stories in the back. It ends after the Captain America story is only 22 pages long, and then it goes into the Cobra hide and seek. Where they kind of give the villains a little episode at the end.
Oh yeah, those Grunwald backups were always good too. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few of the Grunwald backups that made me buy the following issue, even though the initial cover story that I had bought it from was concluded. I'm like, I want to see what happens with this.
Cool. But yeah, you were saying about listing the issues. We've been doing that. I know we did it last episode, maybe in the one before, but I will say next episode, no jumping around. We go right to Quasar 6.
Yes. Venom.
Real quick.
And the Watcher.
And the Red Ghost. And the Living Laser.
Yes.
All for the low price of $1.
Yeah. Unless you live in Canada. Then it's $1.25 Canadian.
Oh, those were the glory days, man. I was like, what was it, 89? I was like 11 years old. That was the best. Comic books were $1. There were no tax on them at this point, I don't think. So it was like, hey, you want one comic? All you needed was a $1 bill.
Yeah. 4 quarters. Look in the couch. Get a
yes.
comic. That's it for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, if any of you want to be like Soshin and send us your feedback, like we said, Quasar 6 is next. Any Quasar issue, we'll get to it. So anytime you want to write in, and we're going to be doing the Project Pegasus stuff. And before Quasar 7 with Spider-Man, we're going to do the Marvel Team Up 113 where they first meet. So any thoughts on any of those, email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/QuantumZonePod, @QuantumZonePod on Twitter, and @CL Sidekicks on Twitter. And the voicemail, if you watch on YouTube, it's right on the screen. But if you're listening on the podcast, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And Matt, what do you have up your sleeve or in your pants?
The same in both. Cloth. Cloth.
Pure talent.
Yeah. If you're just find me if you want to chat, talk to me on email, mattkonastandup@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I have a stand-up comedian page if you want to go like it. Matt Kona Stand-Up, it's on there. And let's talk comics and interact. Send some more messages. I love it. And thank you guys for listening.
And follow Will. I know he's Walred on Twitter, WALLRED. And check out Diary by Night, because like I said, on Capes and Lunatics, we're eventually going to do a review of it. So go buy it, read it, check it out, and send us your thoughts on that.
Yes, I hope he met some listeners at the convention that he was at.
That's right. We'll have to ask him next episode of what happened at the convention. I said spread the word, and he said he would. So
yes, excellent.
And Soshin, hopefully your children bought you Diary of Night for Father's Day.
Yeah,
sure Will would appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. So once again, this has been the Quantum Zone, episode 14. Seems like just yesterday we started this. Trucking along. The next episode of episode 15, Quasar number 6.
Yes.
So grab it while you can. And how does next issue tie into an issue of What If? Come back and find out.
Yes.
Tease.
Yeah.
I love all this Quasar. We need to spread the word.
Yeah.
Spread the word to everyone. Tell everyone about Quasar. Wendell Quasar. Tell everyone about this podcast, please. Say, go check out that Capes and Lunatics. They have this awesome Quasar.
Yeah.
You could be our quantum platoon.
Yes.
Or remember, you are quantum zoners. So quantum zoners, keep it quantum.